All right, so we're here to check out a furniture maker here in Long Beach, doing it here, and Peter Deeble. We're going to go introduce ourselves and meet him right now. Pete.
Hey.
How you doing? Jason Wally.
Hey Jason, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Pete.
Yeah.
And this is Joey.
Hey Joey, nice to meet you.
silent cameraman over here. So thanks for letting us come down and, meet you and see your shop. So we're excited.
Cool.
Maybe start with this building. This building kind of looks like it's been around for a minute. And,
I don't know the whole history. So my best friend lives in this house right here.
Okay.
His dad owns that house and he owns this building. I was over in a tiny little shop in Signal Hill. Basically, it was like a 2-car garage. And my buddy called me and said, hey, the guys here haven't been paying the rent. It's opening up. It's going to be a little bit of a bigger investment. But, you know, it was like kind of a no-brainer.
Yeah.
You know? So
yeah.
I moved in here in
Probably
2000.
quadrupled your space at least,
exactly.
Right?
So I moved in about 2017. At the time, I was still teaching. No, see, I just quit teaching. So I just made this leap into doing this full time.
Yep. And you were teaching what?
High school math.
High school math.
Yeah, I taught high school math for about like 13 years.
Okay.
So I just quit. So it was kind of a scary jump to take. You know?
Sure.
Yeah. At the time, it was me and a friend sharing the space, and my best friend Nate was sharing it also. So there were 3 of us.
Okay.
Nate's an artist. Nate's an artist, so he had 3 of the rooms. I'll show you when we get in here.
Yeah, yeah. Let's check out this kind of the showroom space, if you will.
It is now. So when we first got in here, this was one of Nate's spaces where he was doing art.
Okay.
He was in this room, he was in the room over there, which we'll look at in a minute, and then he was in that room. He's still over there where you see the plastic.
Okay.
Anyways, what happened over time is I kept growing, and Nate just didn't have a lot of time for art. So I slowly annexed space from Nate.
Okay.
So, and then the guy that moved in with me, the space just got too small for the 2 of us. He bailed. So basically now I have almost the whole shop, minus this one little corner over here.
Yeah.
About, let's see, February I think of this year, we put these walls up and turned this into a nice space. This used to look just as chaotic as the rest of the shop. We felt like we needed at least one space where you could kind of breathe a little easier.
I love these beams. You see that with the iron up there, Joey?
Yeah, so we built the wall back like that to expose it. You can see how the wall juts back.
Yeah, yeah.
That's because everyone that came in that I told my plan to, they're like, you cannot hide
No, you can't hide that.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So that's
really cool.
That's why that looks like that. But
so these are some of the pieces.
well, that's what I was going to say. The idea was that this was going to be a showroom, but the problem is that we have so many pieces waiting to be shipped at any one time that most of the time this ends up being a storage room. It's a dust-free storage room, though.
Sure, great, sure. But this is like staging for shipping at this point.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So this one's going to Colorado. This one I don't remember. This one is we built it for a guy it's a Christmas present, I think, for his wife. So we've got to hold on to it for another month and a half. I've got a couple that are going. Both of these are going up to the Bay Area. So they're waiting for a particular shipper who comes through like every other week.
Okay.
So anyways, that's kind of how it happens. This one's actually going to go to my house, but I'm waiting on the drawers to finish the drawers.
Beautiful.
Yeah, and we're gonna take pictures of this one. Yeah. So we're gonna take pictures
walnut that you use a lot. I noticed it back in the shop.
Walnut is the one we use the most often.
Yeah.
So all 3 of these are walnut. These are all walnut. This one is really cool. This is bamboo. It's the first time we've ever worked with bamboo.
Yeah, it looks like a bamboo floor.
Yeah, the trim is walnut, but this is bamboo.
Okay.
The reason we did the trim and walnut is that we couldn't find solid bamboo.
Well, the contrast is
cool. It's cool. Yeah, I know. And then this right here is rosewood. This is a really cool one. I had a customer request it, and we had to hunt it. We found it at a spot in LA called Bonhoff Lumber, and it's like double to triple the price of walnut.
Yeah.
And it's dense as all heck. I mean, like if you pick that thing up, it's like, so it's really hard on the tools, but you can see why she wanted to pay extra.
It's gorgeous.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. And what's the finish that you have on here?
It's just Danish oil.
Danish oil. Okay.
Yeah. It's we rub it on a couple coats.
I notice here you got two coats, little tabs here.
Oh yeah. So the problem is that in the past that we had is that we would oil stuff, but then with so many pieces, they'd be all in here and we're like, wait, does this have 1 coat or 2?
Yeah.
And then it became a problem. We ended up doing extra coats because we lost track, So So we came up with this system, the little 1 coat, 2 coat tag, you know. Yeah.
Okay. So Pete, talk to me about this. Does this exposed plywood stay this way?
Yeah.
Guys, it feels finished and smooth, and it looks gorgeous.
So the way this came about is that this design was the initial version of this bench. We have the solid walnut on the face, solid walnut trim. What happened is I ran into a guy that worked at a record store where I used to work, and he basically said, we would love to stock those benches, because these are for storing vinyl.
Yeah.
But that price...
Specifically for vinyl?
Yeah. It's called the vinyl storage bench.
Okay.
He said, but the price point is just unrealistic for people coming in to buy records. So we came up with this as a lower price alternative. Functionally, it's completely the same.
Yeah.
But by leaving that plywood edge exposed, it saves us
all the labor on putting
it saves you like at least a day and a half to 2 days of labor.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay.
And
it's shorter, right?
No, this one happens to be shorter, but this one is the same size.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So anyways, we did that for that purpose initially, but this just kind of became its own thing. Like, it kind of became a hit in its own right.
Yeah.
And it's surprising, like, there are people that look at both and actually say, no, I prefer the exposed plywood. There's other people that look at this one and they go, what's the price difference? And like, oh, $500, I'll definitely take the you know. But we came up with this scheme. We call this the hi-fi, and we call that the lo-fi.
Okay.
In keeping with the music theme. You know?
Yeah, it makes perfect sense. So what does a piece like this go for versus that? You said this is $500.
This one with shipping is like, I think right now $2,100. My price is
shipped around the country?
All over the country, yeah. And in this one, the price point is more like $1,600. So it's around, yeah, exactly. So it's around a $500 difference.
Yeah.
Which makes sense. Like I said, it's like a day and a half of labor plus some more materials.
Yeah. So, and do you have I guess your customer base in LA, or is it kind of really
it's all over. I mean, my biggest markets are LA, San Francisco, you know, Portland, Seattle, up the coast, and then tons of New York, and I'm blanking right now. What are the other big cities out there?
Like on the East Coast, like Boston.
So Boston is
DC.
a little, I mean, New York's the number one.
Sure.
I've actually been shipping a ton of stuff to Florida lately.
I was gonna say Florida, maybe Miami or the northern part.
Florida's been huge lately. I've shipped, I stopped tracking, but at least 35 states. I just shipped a piece to Alabama last week, which was awesome.
Yeah.
I still have not shipped to South Dakota or North Dakota.
Okay.
I think I have a piece in Maine. I'm not sure. But I would love to hit all 50 states.
Yeah, that'd be awesome to have it checked off.
Yeah.
So,
North Carolina, tons of stuff in North Carolina.
So we were asking you before, first kind of got introduced, you said something about shifting from being a math teacher.
Yeah.
So, and you said that was kind of scary, which I totally get. So how did, you know, how did you take that leap, and you know, how did you get into woodworking? Why do you think that was a good thing to do?
So, well, I'll take those in reverse order.
Okay.
I got into woodworking because my dad had some basic woodworking skills.
Yeah.
He actually is a good woodworker. He was an insurance salesman, but he'd do stuff on the weekends. And I just always loved watching them and learning from them. And so we did a few little projects when we were kids. I was in Boy Scouts. We built the Pinewood Derby cars or whatever. I think that I was always taken by the idea that I could come up with an idea and then form it with wood and come up with a finished product.
Okay.
It was like really empowering. You know? So what happened is I was teaching, I think I was in my 4th year, and I built a couple pieces just for me and my wife. And they turned out really good, like way better than my wife was expecting. And
which is always a good thing.
Well, in fact, the first one I built, I pitched it to her, and she was kind of like, I know you're handy, but like, you know, because I wanted to build it out of teak. I was going to spend like $500 in materials. And she was like, I don't know. And it turned out so good that she was like, oh, well, what else can you build? Maybe we could build a bed and a shelving unit. And so that was kind of how it started. And then I was teaching summer school, and one of my classes got canceled that summer. So I was just trying to figure out, how can I make an extra $1,000?
Okay.
That was my goal, you know, for the summer. So I thought, well, maybe I could build another bed like the one I just built for us, put it on Craigslist, and see if I can make like $300, you know? So that's where it all started, and the response was just always so much stronger than I thought it would have been.
Okay.
And in fact, I thought people would, when they realized that I built it, they'd be turned off. because I kind of marketed it like, oh, room and board style bed. But it was the opposite. When people realized that I built it, they were like, oh, no way. This is really cool. Could you also build other stuff?
Yeah, yeah.
So that was kind of how it started, and it was a side hustle for almost 10 years. So for 10, maybe 7, I don't know, I can't remember now. But so I would teach until 1 or 2 in the afternoon, then race over to the shop. I was in my garage for a few years, and then a small shop in Signal Hill Image. And what happened was it got to the point where I was just frustrated, constantly being pulled in 2 different directions, and feeling like life's too short to wonder what if.
Sure.
You know. So I basically took the leap. I took the leap initially with a leave of absence, so I had a little bit of a soft cushion if I wanted to go back.
Yep.
And the long and the short of it, it's the longer story. The long and the short of it is, well, I didn't keep up with what I was supposed to do to keep things active. So when I reached back out to them, they're like, sorry, like you're kind of out. And it was like the best thing that could have happened because it forced me to go, okay, this is my job. This is it.
I burned the ships at the shore.
You're not actually wearing a parachute.
Exactly. I actually, so after the end of the first year, I started getting stressed. I was a little panicked. That's when I realized I can't go back. At the end of the second year, I started getting stressed again. I went back and interviewed because I had done the things at that point. Went back and interviewed.
Math teachers are always in demand.
That's what you'd think. But I didn't get any job offers.
Interesting. That's crazy.
But I think it's partly because I made it kind of clear in the job interview that I only half wanted the job because I had this other thing. I don't know.
Okay.
Either that or I had a bad letter of recommendation somewhere. Anyways, it was just like, honestly, it was like kind of God's grace that I kept getting doors closed because it was like, all right, I have to figure this out.
Sure.
So now it's been about 7 years, and I haven't seriously thought about teaching in at least 4. So yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah,
awesome.
It's great.
Well, congratulations for making the leap. That's awesome. And you're making beautiful stuff, and
thank you.
You're putting beautiful stuff in the world. Teaching kids, expanding their minds. That's a beautiful thing. Yeah. But I'm a fan of this.
I'll tell you the big difference between this and that is when you're teaching kids math, you don't know at the end of the day if they've actually understood it, what you said, right? And B, if it will actually make a difference in their life. It might. I know that I inspired a few kids.
Sure.
But it's just really intangible. At the end of the day, here you have something to show.
Very tangible.
Like here it is. Not only can I point to it and know that it's real, but people enjoy it every day, and that's like amazing.
No, it's awesome.
So awesome. I was at I had these really awesome repeat customers in Silver Lake, and I was at their house yesterday. And you walk in, and I built their dining table, the bench. I built a floating armoire. I built 2 dressers. I built at least 1 of their beds. And you're just walking around, and you're like, this stuff is getting enjoyed every day. It's incredible.
That's beautiful.
So,
Well, show us where all this magic happens.
All right, cool. All right, well, we'll leave the confines of the relatively dust-free room into the chaos zone.
Nice.
Yo.
Hey, so that